All right, y'all, it is halftime, and we're going to switch things up a little bit.
Yes, we are, guys. We're going to have the men come out. We are welcoming our fellas, Nate Burleson. He's going to be moderating. Come on out, Nate. And we have Devon Kennard. He's local here. He's coming out, too. I don't know what they're going to talk about. Hopefully they'll talk about us and how great we are, but we're going to take a break. And
Okay. Wait a minute before y'all go. We just want to say thank you for what you do. We see the hard work that you guys have put in, and there are long days, short nights, and early mornings, and oftentimes
attitude. But I mean, that's part of it, though.
It is part of the process.
It's cool.
Hey.
Okay.
Not now.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Oftentimes, you have to pat yourself on the back, and we don't do it enough. So in front of this group of people, I just want to say that we see you, we validate you, and we appreciate you. I once heard that not all heroes wear capes, and I know that to be true because you, along with a lot of women, wake up every single day, and you guys are superheroes to us. And you do what we cannot do. So thank you, baby. And good job.
Proud
of
you. Thank you, honey.
Just throw my flowers away. Man,
No.
After that, geez, where we at?
All right, so we're going to talk a little bit of everything. This is going to be unscripted. I want this to be conversational. You can be flies on the wall. If you got a question, you can raise your hand. But these two individuals, they are my brothers. We go way back. So I want to start talking about football, talking about the game, and then we're also going to talk about financial literacy, which is something both of these individuals know a lot about. But Cliff, I want you to kick this off. You know what it's like to play in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, couple of them.
People don't understand. Damn, that was a subtle flex. People don't understand how difficult it is to prepare for a preseason game, a regular season game, a postseason game. What we put into every single moment just to go out there for 60 minutes and give everything we got. I have no idea what it's like to play on the world's biggest stage. What is it like?
Man, you know, it's funny because, and I think the reason why we were able to get to the Super Bowl and everything, what we were able to do in Seattle, was because Coach Carroll actually put this into play for me, was more along the lines of making sure that you just prepare for every game like it's a championship game. So when you get to the championship game, you don't make it any bigger than what it is. And I think that's what allowed us to go into some of those atmospheres and you know, it's 70, 80,000 people that's cheering against you. It don't matter because we've been playing championship football this entire season. You know what I mean? So that allowed me to have comfort. So when that game day rolled around, it wasn't nothing to us. It was just a Monday night game or Sunday night. It was just a normal game. Now, don't get me wrong. Being there obviously is very exciting, especially for me and how my career played out. You know, going 0-16 as a rookie, then being able to play in the Super Bowl, you know, 5 or 6 years later. You know, you also got to take it in and realize how far you've come, too.
Of course. Now, D, you've been a baller your entire life. Starting in Little League, high school, you were dominant, college, in the NFL. What I have loved about watching you is how you are transitioning out of the game and applying energy in certain spaces that are necessary. One of those is financial literacy, and you just dropped your book. I would say your first book, because there's more to come. Tell people, give them a round of applause. Black man writing a book about financial literacy. Tell people a little bit about your book and why you wanted to write it.
Well, in all honesty, I took a play out of your playbook. Just, you know, seeing your career, you're somebody I always look forward to. For those who don't know, he played with my brother in college. So,
that's right.
So, you know, we go way back, and I saw the successful career you had, but I have a father who played in the NFL as well. So I got an insight of like what it looks like from on the back end when your career is over, what my dad's life looked like. And I was like, what do I want out of my life after the game of football? And I started asking those questions as soon as I got in the NFL. And I think it's because of adversity I started to face. You know, coming out of high school and college, I was #1 recruit in the nation, went to a top university, and then I started to face a lot of adversity, injuries. Towards the end of my career, you know, it looked like I wasn't even going to make it in the NFL. So I started to ask myself the questions of, you know, do I want to be successful because of football, or do I want to be successful, period? And once you start asking yourself those kind of questions, you start looking at things a little differently. And, that's where I came with like financial literacy. I realized there's not many people that look like us talking about it. And with the background I have being a professional athlete, I felt like, it was time, and why not me, and why not now?
I love these moments of transparency everyone up here is speaking from. And, you guys can add to this if you feel like it applies. But I remember being a rookie, and I was a third-round draft pick. I get this check, a little over $500,000, and it was the first time I've ever seen that much money. Now, I didn't grow up in a household where we were talking about investing. I didn't grow up in a household where we were talking about buying real estate. So my financial literacy was learning on the fly. And there is this fear to talk about it because you feel like there's an ignorance that you're speaking from. So you're like, you know what? I'm just not going to say anything, and I'll lean on somebody else's understanding, which is usually a financial advisor. Sometimes that works out. Oftentimes, you're getting robbed blind behind your back. Was there a moment in your career where you thought to yourself, I want to learn how to, one, count my money, save my money, invest my money, make my money work for me? And when was that point in your career?
Man, I would say, I think everybody goes through a transition, right? When you go from college to the pros and you get your first 6, some people 7-figure checks, and you don't know what to do with it. Society tells you, hey, man, you just got a bag. You need to go buy that new car. You need to go buy some jewelry. You need to go do all these different things. And because we don't come from money, we don't understand, we don't know it. But I think the biggest thing for me was when I actually made some money that was enough to retire my mom or something like that. It was more along the lines of like, man, how do we keep this going? I heard an old head tell me this, an OG tell me this when I got in the league. He was like, man, look, it's great to try to ball out while you're playing, but the real ballers are the guys that can do the thing they're doing right now 15, 20 years from now.
Facts.
Right? So,
Facts.
Yeah. So to me, it was just like, okay, now I need to learn what that means, right? What does that look like? How do you multiply this money, right? And for me, it was just about education. There's different programs and different things like that that's in the league that can kind of shape your mind a little bit. But I also wanted to be accountable, because you hear about all these different stories about athletes, and really most times than not, they're getting robbed because they just don't know what the heck is going on.
Yeah,
I wanted to be accountable because in all reality, it's your fault that you got your money stolen. You know what I'm saying? So if you take it from that approach, now I need to learn what the heck is going on. Yeah. So I don't have to come see this financial advisor if he takes my money, because I'm going to have to see you regardless.
Yeah, Cliff, that's a fact. You're going to see these hands.
You're going to see, exactly.
If you take my money. Cliff, I want to stick with you. We follow each other on social media. One of the dopest videos that I've seen was your son in an empty room, basically acting as if he was showing the house. Like he was selling it. That spoke to me on so many levels, because as parents, we pass down all these things, right? Genetics, they're a beast. But sometimes we pass down these bad habits, might pass down debt. We pass down these things that we don't even know we're giving to our kids. You're making a conscious effort to pass down education on how your children see money. And you're starting very young. Why did you decide to do that?
Man, I think it's if you know better, you do better, right? So you gotta make sure as you learn these things, because I had to learn these things at 30 years old. So let's shorten that curve for your kids so they can learn it at 12, so they can be, when they're 30, they're in a whole different position, right? So I think it's important for my kids to just see everything that I'm doing. Yes, I was an athlete. Yes, I did media. Yes, I have my own real estate company, but like, these are all things that are possible, because also, if we just pay attention to what society says, most times than not, for black and brown boys, you can only be an athlete or an entertainer.
Right.
The odds of you actually making it is very slim.
Right.
So expose them to so many things that are possible, and then now we just got to go excel and put our best foot forward and go dominate.
Now, D, you are transitioning out of the game, and there's that moment where you have to look in the mirror and figure out who you want to be. Yeah. I like to say that life begins after we put the football down and we realize, we don't have one more snap left. Was that a struggle to identify what you want to do? And then, to add to that question, What are some of the things that you're looking forward to getting into as you work your way out of the game?
Yeah, I think the biggest struggle I had, the last couple of years is going from being the guy, like, starting, getting a big payday, going to a couple different teams to being a guy, like, and that transition, even saying that.
That's a harsh reality.
You got to look yourself
it's
in the
a blow
mirror.
to our ego.
That's humbling.
It is what it is. Like that's the reality of the game we play, and most guys are going to face that point, in their career at some point. So for me, it's like, all right, what do I want to do? What do I want to pursue outside of the game, and how can I leverage myself now? Because nobody's more interested in us as players, and all of you wives out there, nobody's going to be more interested in you than right now while your husband is playing.
Take
advantage of those opportunities. Take advantage of those doors that you can open, because once they're done, those doors stay open. So leverage that. And for me, it's like, all right, I'm really interested in real estate. I'm really interested in financial literacy. So I've leaned into it.
Yeah.
And that's why I wrote my book. It all adds up. Make sure you go pre-order it.
That's a fact.
And but that's why I started to do those things. Like I'm still in the league. I got that title right now. Let me lean into that more, and so that way I build that momentum, and it just keeps going.
To add on to what DK is saying is, once you're up underneath that, once you leave from up underneath that NFL umbrella, that shield, things get a little different for the player, but obviously for the entire family.
Yeah.
So yes, we have to get out of our comfort zone while we're playing, because a lot of times we just want to focus on football. You guys obviously want to hold the fort down, but we got to start thinking about what's next, especially once you get to year 5, year 6, year 7, because I know for me, when I got to year 7, I knew I didn't have another 7 years left in me. So I know I had to start planning for what's to come.
Yeah.
So once you leave that from underneath that umbrella, things get a little different. So take full advantage of it while you are.
As we wrap this up, I'll leave you with a little bit about where I am in my career. You mentioned the words comfort zone, and this is for everybody, men, women, old, young, wherever you are in your career. People oftentimes ask me, how are you doing this? When do you sleep? Why are you taking on so many jobs? It's because I don't get comfortable with the goals that I reach. And I feel like oftentimes we do get comfortable. Take a ride with me as I paint this picture for you. So we're familiar with Ubers and ride shares, Lyfts. No matter how comfortable you are in the car that you get in, seats feel good, the smell of the car is great, you don't even need the aux cord, the music's right. I mean, the vehicle's beautiful. They got snacks. It's like a backseat bodega back there. You kicking it, right? The driver's not bothering you. No matter how comfortable that ride is, we always get out at our destination. So when we achieve something and you set a goal and you accomplish that goal, don't get comfortable. You get out and you set a new destination, a new goal, because there is no time like the present. There's a lot of space, opportunity, and money out there. We just got to go put our name on it. I appreciate y'all showing up, because this is a reflection of the work that these ladies are putting in. Thank you so much, and thank you for listening to us.
Thanks for having us.
Enjoy the
Thank you
rest of
guys.
the day.
Appreciate it.